One day of deliberations down in the Marathon bombing sentencing, and the biggest fireworks happened without the jury there. As he sat and waited to learn his fate, there was a strange outburst from Dzhokhar Tsarnaev. Fox 25's Catherine Parada joins us live outside federal court, where deliberations will resume in about an hour. Good morning.
Good morning, Sarah. Yeah, you're mentioning Dzhokhar Tsarnaev. Late yesterday afternoon, he was actually heard laughing in the courtroom before the jury was brought in. Now, as you mentioned, they're going to be gathering just about an hour from now so that deliberations can begin promptly at 9 o'clock this morning. Friday usually being the jury's day off. But judging by the questions they had for the judge yesterday, it does appear as though they're very carefully considering their task as they work their way through this 24-page verdict form. Life or death. It may sound simple, but in the end, the jury needs to rule on each of the 17 capital counts. And before they get there, they'll need to weigh dozens of factors. Here's how it breaks down. The jury needs to unanimously find that the government has proven at least one so-called gateway factor on at least one count to move on to what are called statutory aggravating factors. If they unanimously find the government has proven at least one of those on at least one count, they'll weigh other aggravating factors and mitigating factors. But if they can't come to those unanimous conclusions, the death penalty would be off the table. If it sounds complex, it's because it is, and it's something the jury isn't taking lightly. By late morning, they had a question for the judge. It was as complicated as the process. The judge asked the jury to draft a new question for clarification. At first, the discussion by the lawyers and the judge focused on the word intentionally. What did Tsarnaev intend to accomplish through his actions? The jury ultimately asked if the gateway factors should be considered individual acts carried out by Tsarnaev only. The judge said yes, but that the jury could determine what knowledge he had. The jury's second question related to Section 3 of the verdict form. It's impossible to know how much further the jury advanced, but by day's end, their faces showed the gravity of the task at hand. Now, some of you have asked about the jurors' thoughts about the death penalty and that how that may affect the deliberations here. And we wanted to have you think back to January and February. That's when jury selection was taking place. It took several weeks for that to occur. And they did question each of these jurors very carefully. And the jurors that they ended up selecting for this jury, some of them lean one way or the other when it comes to the death penalty. However, they all assured the judge and the attorneys that they could keep an open mind about this and impose the death sentence if it's warranted. So again, deliberations will begin shortly this morning, about an hour and a half, and we'll certainly keep you updated. For now, we're live in South Boston. Catherine Parada, Fox 25 News.
And a jury will return to South Boston this morning at 8:30. As soon as the jury reaches a verdict, you'll get the alert on our Fox 25 News app. We'll also be on air breaking down their decision for you live.